Good afternoon, crafters, and welcome to P2PCrafts Presents, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercrafts show. I'm your host, Michelle Brown, Creative Director at From Picture to Page, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and papercrafts show. Now, P2PCrafts presents demonstrations and interviews with our favourite retailers and some guest artists, and there's a whole heap of sessions. So pop over to our website, FromPictureToPageAndBeyond.com.au, where you can see all of the sessions as well as the replays, get all of the links to our retailers' information and websites, and continue to support us there as well. And while you're over on the Picture to Page website, make sure you hop onto our email list so you can get all the replays at the end of the week as well as see what's coming up. Now, whether you're watching us here live on Facebook or on a replay on Facebook or YouTube or on our website, we would love to hear from you. So make sure you say hi in the comments so that we know that you're there, and that you can then give us a like, a thumbs up, and of course share us with your crafty friends. Now today, I'm very excited to have P2PCrafts presents Stamping Up with Tracy. Hello, Tracy.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm well. How are you going today?
Really, really good, thank you. And it's not pouring with rain, which is a good thing.
Yes, fingers crossed. I think 2 o'clock's become the new school pickup time. Not to worry. So it's so good to having you here today. So firstly, tell us a bit about yourself. How did you get into stamping?
I've been stamping for probably 25 years. I got invited, I work in the dental industry, and one of my girls that I was working with at the time invited me to a home party, and it was all about arts and craft, and this lady sort of stamped a stamp and covered it in powder and embossed it, and I was just hooked. So and even as a little girl, I always had a bit of an obsession with paper and colouring pens and, you know, all of those sorts of things. So it's not a surprise that it led me here.
Yeah, and it is something about that embossing that I think everyone who's come to Papercrafts through stamping that's what's caught them. That's what's got our attention.
Absolutely, it has. Yeah. No, it's it is one of those wow moments when it does happen.
It certainly is. And so what is it about Stamping Up that's got you hooked?
Oh, Stamping Up, the thing I really love about Stamping Up, and I will show it just in the first few minutes, is our coordination. So how our markers, our ink pads, our cardstock, they're all the same dye lot. So, and that's, you know, you can go to generic craft stores and pick up a green cardstock, but when you look at all the greens that are available, it's amazing. So it's nice to be able to work with a colour format that's the same consistently. And I sort of dabble between card making and scrapbooking too. So it was a natural transition for me to, I guess, become involved with Stamping Up, but never did I think it would lead to this, 11 years on, and here we are doing a video for Picture to Page.
I know. It's so exciting. And like you said, 11 years is a long time to do any one thing, isn't it? But somehow with crafting, the time just flies by.
I know, it really does. No, it's gone very, very quick, and it's been a wonderful journey. So, and, just all the people that you meet through craft, it's just wonderful. It feeds the soul.
It certainly does. Now, what have you got to show us today?
Okay, I've got a number of things. So I will touch on our coordination elements at the beginning. And then Stamping Up are a very generous company, and they have created a beautiful, very fun set of stamps that you can actually download, and it's called Share Sunshine. And there's hundreds of stamps and stamps images, and all the money goes to the World Health Organization. So the 100% of the money, demonstrators don't benefit, the company doesn't, but the entire $12 goes to the World Health Organization, given, what's happening in the world. And I think we're over $150,000 raised already. So it's just fantastic. So I've got that to show, and then I'm gonna show you a little bit about our stamp and blends, and then of course the icing on the cake is our new annual catalogue.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, I'll let you get set up and then we'll jump right in.
Fantastic, thank you.
Excellent. So as Tracy said, Stamping Up are doing a wonderful job of fundraising for the World Health Organization. So we'll let Tracy show us what they've got on offer, and then we will be able to continue to support them as well. And there's nothing like fundraising through our crafting, is it? I think that is just fantastic. So it looks like Tracy's nearly ready. Looks like we might have a technical difficulty.
Yes, just trying to get my camera in the stand.
Oh, as I said to someone else today, if the virus doesn't kill us, I think the technology is going to. It's just yeah. Okay. So I'm having trouble seeing your video, Tracy. Are you able to just check? Yeah, it looks like even if it's not raining, the internet is not being our friend today. Okay. Okay, yep. There we go. That looks better. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That looks okay. We're looking side on, but I think we will be all right. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Thank you all for your patience. Nothing like doing these things live. Okay, so I'll now hand over to Tracy. Take it away.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, well, as I was saying, Stampin' Up really has mastered the art of coordination. And by that, I mean that everything in our colour families actually coordinates. So we have our cardstock. This is the beautiful Granny Apple Green, which is a beautiful colour. But what it means is that our ribbon in Granny Apple Green is the perfect dialogue. Our Stampin' Blend, which is our alcohol marker, our Stampin' Write marker, and then, of course, our ink pad. And any type of designer paper that has the mention of Granny Apple Green will be the same die lot. So it makes making your projects really, really easy because it's just a seamless colour coordination and combination. So that's really what did draw me to Stampin' Up in the first place, because I just, I am very particular and I just love that whole colour match. As I mentioned before, Stampin' Up are a very generous company, and they have created a beautiful download option during these times. I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see these, but this is called Share Sunshine, and it's 15 pages of stamped images, and with that is a couple of pages that explains on each page. So let me just give you an example here. So if I go to page 10, so you can see here page 10.
So Tracy, if you could just move it down and to your right a little bit so we can see it a bit better. Excellent, there we go.
Great, thank you. So on page 10, I've then got here, I'll just swap this over so you can see it. So on page 10, it then tells me that it's Balmy Blue, Basic Black, Flirty Flamingo, and then all of the coordinating products that these images actually coordinate with. But these are really fun greetings. So there's things like, sending hugs, and I can't wait to hug you when this is all over. Wish this was a real hug. Things about wearing face masks and so on. And, that my heart misses you. We're 6 feet apart, but you're still in my heart. So lots of lovely, quirky sayings. And as you can see, there's quite a number of pages. And it works out to, I think, about 211 different greetings and sayings and fun pictures. So I've printed these on Whisper White cardstock. So when you order this download, it's $12 American, which works out at about 18 Australian dollars. And the entire $18 goes to the World Health Organization. And you've got this download forever. So there are things in here about birthdays and sending hugs and getting well. So they are quite generic, as well as some relevant sayings for right now, while we're dealing with what we're dealing with. But I'll show you some projects that I've made using them just so you'll get a little bit more of an idea. So this is one of those cards, which is sending hugs. and just a little gift card that you could put some chocolates with, or you could attach a bunch of flowers to and leave it on somebody's doorstep. So this is the pre-printed image from the download. I've just coloured in the tulip hearts, and then I've added a little bit of glimmer paper with our scalloped heart punch just to give that a little bit of sparkle and a bit of oomph.
Tracy, that's just gorgeous, isn't it? Could you just show us how you got the sentiment just to sit up off the card there?
Yeah, certainly. So we have got dimensionals under there. Let me pop that off so you'll see. So it's actually got these little double-sided spongy dots, and they just stick down onto your cardstock, and they'll stick on the glimmer paper. It just gives that extra bit of texture and a little bit more dimension, if you can see there.
Yeah.
So it does
lovely.
It does make it look like that heart's popping off the card, which is lovely. Here's a bit of a quirky saying. I totally share my toilet paper with you. So there are a couple of quirky sayings on the download, and inside there's a little picture of 2 toilet rolls and a little saying that says, "Let's just roll with it." So, they are quite fun. I actually put this on my next door neighbour's doorstep because they had run out of toilet paper, and they messaged and said, "Did we have any?" So that was perfect. This one's a really girly card, very, very feminine, lots of flowers. I can't wait to hug you. I've just added some rhinestones, a little bit of our matching ribbon, and you'll see here how much that coordination comes into play. So we've got our beautiful purple posy card base. I'll just turn that over so you can see the purple. And then we've got our pretty peacock card, and within the designer paper we've got purple posy and we've got pretty peacock ink. So that whole coordination works really, really well. And the same then with one of the greetings that says, "I can't wait to hug you when this is all over," and a few rhinestones. And then inside I've just added a little strip of the designer paper and a place for me to write my greeting. So it is really quite a nice way of using up designer paper and a very girly, very female card. And then this is another fun one. This is Have Another Quarantini. Again, this is all part of the download. Yeah, I love this one too. And I've just coloured this in using markers, and I've again popped that up. And these are our beautiful stitched rectangle framelits that hopefully you can see there. And then inside it says, "It's like a normal martini, but you drink it at home alone." So, just lots of quirky little elements. And you could use those for other things. I mean, if somebody's just having a birthday, you could have a birthday greeting attached to that little glass. So that's what I meant by these downloads will continue, for a long time. You'll get lots of pleasure out of them using them for different things. I added a little bit of our soft designer paper in the pool party to match the cardstock, and again just coloured it in, and I actually washed very lightly over with the pool party blend just to take the whiteness away from the martini glass. But yes, I love that one. I've got a very special friend that I'll be sending that to. And then this one is really beautiful. So this is our beautiful fox. I'll just show you the stamp set that he's from. So he's from a stamp set called Wildly Happy. I'm hoping that you can see this.
Yes, we can, Tracy.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's got beautiful animals on it. They're all they could be mother and daughter, they could be birthdays, they could be friends. So that's a really lovely stamp set. And this stamp set was current in our current catalogue, but is carrying over into the new catalogue, so you've still got time to pick that up. And with this card, so this is a bit of a fun fold. I'll turn it this way so you can see how it's designed. So it's sort of like a Z fold, but upside down. So it actually acts as a little bit of a pop-up card, which might be a little bit tricky to see. But the flap tucks in here, So if we just pop that out, and then I've added my usual little bit of designer paper, and that just tucks in under the flap, and it says sending love and paper hugs. I thought I'd quickly show you how I managed to get the shading with the fox, because our blends really do. And if you can see the fox, you know, he's light around the snout and around the tips of his ears, and like a real fox. And I'm not, you know, I don't consider myself a super duper artist, but the Stampin' Blends really do make it very easy. So I'll show you how I got that to look so realistic. So I've already stamped Fox, and I've used Memento Ink. So our Memento Ink is a classic ink, and you need a classic ink if you're using an alcohol marker. So that's what you should remember. Classic ink, you use an alcohol marker, which is the opposite. If you're using our standard markers, then you would use a pigment ink like a StazOn. So it's always opposites attract when you're coming to do that colour combination. And with any colouring, we recommend with Stampin' Up that you start with your lightest colour first. So I've got the lightest So Saffron blend. Our blends have two tips. They have a bullet tip, and they have a very fine paintbrush tip, which is for, you know, tight corners and those leaves and petals that are a little bit tight to get into. I actually find that I use the bullet tip more. It's a little bit easier to work with, and particularly when you're shading. So given that this is my lightest colour, I'm just going to do some little circles around his mum's snout and around the baby, the little cub. And then again, just here at the edge of his tail. And you'll see that there's little lines and there's little white pieces of card popping through. Don't worry about that, because that will all blend together when we've finished our fox. This is the light pumpkin pie. So I'm just going to go in little circles and just cover him in. Just do his ears. And doesn't really matter if you go over the lines. I don't want to put any ink around his snout, because that's where the lighter colour will be. So I'll just give this a... And the blends have been very, very popular. They're still relatively a new range for us here at Stampin' Up. And they've been very, very popular. And nearly every shade comes in a light and a dark. So you've got that combination to be able to blend more easily. The light pen, I think, really comes into its own at the end, and I'll show you that. So this is our dark pumpkin, and I'm just going to go round the tips of his ears very lightly. And with this stamp, we can almost see where that shading should be, because he's sort of got almost a few extra whiskers. So I'm just popping a little bit of ink around. As you can see, it looks very random, and just do the little ears on our little fella here, a little bit round here, and then round here. And these are great images to, you know, stamp a whole heap of, and then while you're watching the telly, you can just sort of colour them in. I'm now going back to my light pumpkin, and I'm just going to go back, do some more circles, and actually blend all of that together. And it will dry a little bit lighter than it looks. And you just run all of that in. Just keep working with it. beautiful for, you know, flowers to get that depth of colour in our petals and leaves. Really great for animals. And then I used our colour lifter. These are $7.75, and these help you to create shade. So where this is a little bit dark here, I'm just going to rub the colour lifter over and get some highlights. So it just helps us to create that little bit of shading. So you'll see how already that colour's blending and it's starting to fade. And then I can go back and add just some little bit more shading and so on. So it's like he's sat in the sunlight. And I added I've added the little black just to his nose, just to give that little snout, just that little bit more prominence. And there you go. So you just get that opportunity to shade and really be able to create a more lifelike and realistic image, which I think's, you know, really nice. And, you know, I don't know how long that took, maybe 5 minutes. But yeah, but it's, you know, the end result is lovely. So here it is again, just before on the card, and that's come up beautiful. Sending love and paper hugs. It's what we all need.
Certainly do.
Okay, so just before we wrap up, I'll just remind everybody that we've still got our occasions catalogue, which finishes at the end of May. Actually, it finishes on the 2nd of June. So full of all the current products. Some are carrying over, some sadly are not. So if there's anything on your wish list, please make sure you contact your demonstrator to order them. There's quite a number of stamps and embellishments, designer paper that are on sale. So that's a really good thing to be looking through. If we've got 2 or 3 weeks left to get those orders in. And the same with our current annual catalogue, which many of you will have seen the cover and all of its contents. We've had this for about a year now, and it really is a beautiful catalogue. And then we have the new catalogue. Woohoo!
How exciting.
So yeah, it's very exciting, Michelle, and it's I can't show you the inside pages, which is so frustrating. I'm not allowed to do that until the catalogue goes live on the 3rd of June. But I do have a little special for anybody watching. We're such great supporters of Picture to Page, and Picture to Page has been a great friend to Stampin' Up for such a long time that these normally retail for $7.95, and at the show we would normally sell them for $5 as a show special. But given the situation and given that I think everybody needs a little bit of extra love, if you do not have a current demonstrator, so if you're new to Stampin' Up, or you may have seen us but you really don't know a lot about who we are, please send me an email or a private message. I think my details may come up at the end, and I would be happy to send you one of these in the mail free of charge. It'd be nice to get some happy mail, really lovely to send some happy mail, and I think everybody who receives one will absolutely love looking through that. You didn't see that I did that.
Don't, Tracy, you'll get us in trouble.
I know, I'll get us in trouble. Me too. And if you're a regular customer of mine, a club member, a regular hostess, a regular online shopper, then you will already have one in the mail coming your way. So you don't need to worry about that. I'm really reaching out to those fans of Stampin' Up that really haven't, been able to embrace it for whatever reason. But if you don't have a current demonstrator that you already deal with, please reach out and I'd be happy to look after you. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Okay. So while Tracy gets herself organised, wasn't it great to see Tracy blending? I'm not a huge marker blender either, so it was really nice just to be able to watch someone and get that sense of sort of how to use the different colours. I remember when I first started practicing, I'd get so frustrated because I couldn't get the same colours, but knowing that the markers come in those two different shades would make such a difference and make it so much easier as well. So we got Tracy back now. Excellent. Okay, so just remind us again, so that catalogue is going to be out on the 3rd of June. Now we've
Correct.
got your Facebook details just here. Facebook
Perfect.
at tracypen.stampin, and of course on the Picture to Page website page, I'll make sure we pop your email address there as well for anyone that wants to get in touch. And that's a really generous offer. Now, how do we find out about the offer for the Sharing the Sunshine?
So there is a link. If you go to my Facebook page, I'll actually refresh the link and I'll put that up when we finish the video. So that it'll be on the top, the most recent post, and I'll pop that up there. All people do is click on it. They can pay by PayPal or whatever suits them.
Excellent. And what some delightful little sayings. And like you said, there are some elements that you could then use again, but certainly some are just going to absolutely, represent these few last months, aren't they? So.
Yeah, and I think if you're a memory keeper too, and, people will be keeping scrapbooks over these last few weeks with everything, because let's face it, it's history. I think to have a couple of those in the scrapbook would be lots of fun as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a while before we recover from the fear of toilet paper shortage, isn't it? Most definitely. Now, we've got a lot of people popping on to say hello. We've got Janine Rowlands, who, of course, is one of our Stampin' Up demonstrators for a Sandown. We've got Amanda Neal there. We've got Shani. We've got, plenty of regulars, Wendy Stewart, of course, and Amanda. So all of them have popped along to see our demonstration.
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent. So like Tracy said, to get all the details, pop over to her Facebook page, tracypen.stamping, and of course we'll have all the details over the Mixed Media Art page in the next day or two as well. So Tracy, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's been an absolute joy. I've really been looking forward to it. So thanks for having me, Michelle.
You're more than welcome, Tracy. Thank you. Excellent. So crafters, thank you so much for joining us with Tracy today. Like we said, all of the information's over at Tracy's Facebook page, and within the next 24 hours this video will be up on YouTube. Of course, you can watch the start replay straight away on Facebook as well. So of course, make sure you leave a comment so that we know that you're there. Give us a like, share us with your crafty friends, and generally help us spread the crafting fun. So this is Michelle Brown signing off. I hope you have a crafty day.